Alright everyone, it is Higgy here. Today is my first painting video of one of my altered art cards, and today I'm going to be doing a Serra Ascendant. So this is the first altar I've actually recorded, so I can go through the process of how I go about it and roughly how long it will take. There will be a shortened version of this video coming online as well, like a little time lapse with some music, if you don't want to watch this entire video. However, I'm just gonna get started. The first part of every altar is creating a border around the outside of where you are going to be altering. So because Serra Ascendant is a lighter card, I'm going to give it a white frame just around the top bits, and then I'll probably do like a brown around the bottom where the ground is, just to give me a base of where I can add paint in the future. It doesn't particularly matter going over a little bit of the card because obviously I'm going to be going over it anyway. So the reason that you do this and give it a little frame is because some of the paints I've been using, I'm using Games Workshop paints, don't particularly stick, I guess is the right term, over the ink very well. So you need to give it a base that the paint will actually stick to. And you can't really spray it. I mean, I could cover the card and spray it, but it takes a lot longer to do because then I have to wait for the spray to dry. Maybe in a future video I will do that. I will cover the areas that I don't want to cut and then spray it, but I'll have to come to that when I find a card that it would be suitable for. So out of what I've decided to do, I'm going to do a few various different colors and various different styles of altars, hopefully. I'm going to start with white and I'll go through the color pie and I'll do a multicolored, I'll do an artifact, that sort of thing. And then if people like my videos and give me requests, I can do that as well. I can find some cards that people are requesting and alter those too. If you particularly like the altars, in the description below there will be a link to my Facebook page where I showed off all of my altars, not just the ones I'm recording. And then there will also be a link to my altar sleeves page, so if you want the altar for yourself, you can then buy them on there. They're currently, I think, €6 at the time of recording, because of coronavirus. They've done some sort of deal to make them a bit cheaper for you guys. So I have had some people say that I shouldn't remove all the artist names and everything, but how I like doing my extensions so they are entirely done and it's only then got the rules and then just art around the outside. It's personal preference. If I was doing a commission or anything, if the person wanted the artist, obviously I'm not going to go against what they want. Luckily, Games Workshop paints dry quite quick, so by the time I finish the frame I should be able to start doing the top. It should all be dried okay, so I can start mixing actual correct colours. So as you can see here down at the bottom that I'm going through, it is a little patchy to start with because of the inking process. Colours come through quite well, so it requires a few coats, and then afterwards, just before we finish, I'll go around with a toothpick, just neating up all the edges. But yeah, if you guys are interested in seeing more videos, I'm hoping to put up at least one altered video a week. I'm sorry if the camera's flickering a little bit. I found an old webcam that I can plug in. I have no other things at the moment. I can't really get out and get one either because of the lockdown. But if this takes off and people like my videos, I will obviously invest in a better camera to show you guys a bit nicer art. There we go. I do also intend to stream one of these at some point, because I think that'd be fun with people commenting on what I should do. But I'd have to get a lot better at art before that, because some of my pictures aren't the best. Okay. Hopefully this one won't take too long. It looks quite simple as a card, so fingers crossed it's not going to take too long to do. But you never really know. So some of the ones that look the easiest actually take several hours, as opposed to I think the quickest one I did was my Lazav, because all I did really was add in a lightsaber. So the first go over is just to get an approximate colour around the entire outside, because then you can blend it really easily once you've got that base. So I'm just going to go around here. So we've got a little bit of blue, a little bit of green, and it goes into a bit more of a yellowy colour, like a yellowy brown. And then up at the top, obviously, there's the brown with the specks of blue sky coming in the top. There we go. So yellow. Sorry if I'm rotating this around when you're trying to see. Obviously, I'm just trying to make it easiest for me to get my painting done. But as you can see from there, just this simple addition of colour extends it really nicely into the edge of the card. Oh, that's a bit dark, isn't it? Okay. When I first started doing alters, it was mostly because I was getting annoyed at my playgroup, because rather than going, oh, that's a cool card, it's just like, oh, what does that do? So when I very first started, it was a way to make people actually stop and look at the cards, appreciate what the artists do for us, for the game, which I think is actually really nice. It's a way to appreciate that these talented people, like, while we enjoy the game and everything, there are people who actually make it work by giving us these cool cards, giving us these cool artworks. Like, speaking of Ikoria, I absolutely adore the artwork from Ikoria. It looks so nice, and when this lockdown ends, I am excited to get my hands on some of the cards from there. I'm kind of curious. I want to see maybe do some of the companions, because that I think could be a fun little experiment. Um, then we'll see. I can't say until I get the cards in my hand, but they look quite tricky. Because I'm not the best with details. I do a lot better with abstract colors and like backgrounds. I'm working on it, but obviously there's only so much I can do before that. So there we go. Look, we've already got. You can see how the color has expanded the artwork already, and while it's not quite color matched to anything yet, it's already bringing out, like, changing the emphasis of the card from around here, and it's already spreading it out so your eye is catching a larger part of it. Okay. Okay, that's right. Now I need a slightly darker brown to tie in this corner. Oh, that might have gone too dark. Yeah, sorry if I'm waving my hand all over the place. This is the first one, and I haven't quite figured out the best setup for my desk yet, or how I'm gonna actually do this. Right, that's there. I will at some point be uploading some of my modeling as well, because I do still collect Warhammer. I don't play as much as I'd like to, but that's just because time and work and everything. There's not as much time to actually play people, or people don't have the time to play me as much. So there's only so much I can do there. Right, let's need some blue, I think. Yeah, hopefully you guys are all doing okay as well. Oh, that didn't change at all. I know this time has been hard for the majority of the country, but hopefully you guys are still doing okay. And when the lockdown does end, we'll actually be able to play some games, go back to actual work, see friends again. That would be nice. It's just being stuck inside is hard. It's been hard for me. I like getting out and doing things, but it has given me the time to learn some new skills, like actually making and editing videos. I wouldn't have had time to do that otherwise. I wouldn't have had the incentive to do it really either. So that is a thing that I can say has come from coronavirus. I mean, it's not the best thing to say, but it is at least something. Learning new skills is always good. Oop. So here I'm just swapping the sides. I'm letting the other side dry before I change some more of it. I'm just giving this side a better background rather than just the white. And this is how I tend to go about my alters. I will do a bit till I'm happy with it, or like happier. Then I'll move over to the other side while it dries, and I'll go back. I'll keep swapping back and forwards, because that's the color I want. This way you can take it in with almost like a fresh set of eyes, and figure out exactly what you need. So like here, this bit's a bit lighter, so it needs a slightly lighter background to go through, and then going like even paler towards the middle here. So looking at that, I also do need to change the blue, but obviously that was just the background. I'm going to try and get all the sky and everything done first. Before I go back down, so then I'll start at the top and work my way down. And I think I'm just going to put some spots of pure white in the middle rather than a mixed color. So here we go. What do you guys think about Serra Ascendant as a card anyway? I kind of like it. I know some of my friends get annoyed because I basically play EDH and only EDH, and dropping this on turn 1 can be a little frustrating. But then you can say that about a lot of players. Like if someone plays a turn 1 authority of the consoles, I mean that's probably maybe not worse. This is a 6/6 flyer, I guess. But there's only so many 1-drops that are relevant, I guess, in EDH. I mean, Deathrite Shaman would probably be a good one. I don't own one of those though. Actually, that'd be quite a fun altar, I think. It looks, yeah, that's about right. It looks like a complicated card, so it would be fun to do. Right. So I need some yellowy colours to do this cloud. Yeah, I've been a little nervous about starting doing videos because I'm not the best at computers, or just in general, really, actually. So it's been a little bit nerve-wracking learning how to do editing and um, just like any of that, like actually recording, because no, me, I'm clumsy. I press the wrong buttons, and then uh, anything like that, and then it ruins your entire thing. And like I've got my all my recording software well out of reach, so I can't accidentally delete this or change it, because that wouldn't be great. Because I can't exactly go back and do it again as the card is already done. There we go. That's the right green. And then something I wasn't expecting was, as I'm going through this, I can't just stop talking, because then it's just going to be a silent video of me painting. Like, obviously, in the speed up, you're not going to have any of my voice. It'll just be some music and the actual video sped up. So rather than watching me do all this, it'll be a time lapse of everything going a lot faster. And maybe instead of, say, an hour, I don't know how long this is going to take, it would be 5 minutes, to just highlight how the card changes from start to finish. But yeah, like already I've got such a respect for YouTube content creators, because they've done this day in, day out. They've found things to talk about. They make great quality videos, and just in general are good at what they do. Whereas I'm coming in just like bumbling around, doing something I enjoy, and hopefully giving inspiration to anyone who is watching to try something out of their own. Because that's what it was for me. One of my friends has been doing some videos, and I thought, you know what, that looks like fun. I'm going to give it a try. So I did, and that's why I've started doing this. But it's a little nerve-wracking. Right, why are none of these colours being the correct one? Oh, there we go. This one's correct. I wasn't intending for it to be here. I was actually intending to be down here somewhere. But it's the correct colour. And then here? Nope. Up here? Maybe. So as you can see, I've been 24 minutes into the video, and already the top part, it's not looking fantastic at the moment, but it's not looking bad. It changes quite quick. It's at least some of the other ones I've noticed, like apart from the really super complicated ones I'm doing, they change from looking like a normal card to an altered card real quick. And it's nice seeing the change. And I think it's going to be nice for me being able to document it, because this will help me out as well, as I can see where I'm going wrong, What colour did I just make? Grey. I can also see, like there, you can see that needs to be a little lighter because it doesn't match properly. But yeah, as I was saying, I can then go through and pick cards that will help me do things that I struggle with so I can get better. Is that right? No, that looks too light. That's frustrating. So the actual painting bit is probably the easiest bit. It's matching the colours properly is where a lot of the time comes in with these videos or with these cards, because you can't just splotch down a load of random paint. You have to make sure all the colours are matched okay. Oh, I've made the same colour again. Yeah, matching the colours so they come out looking seamless is definitely the hardest bit in my experience. There's only like you do get some leeway because the human eye can't tell the difference, but obviously, like if I'm scanning them in to put them on alter sleeves and stuff, the computer can tell a difference. So getting them to match takes considerable time and practice. Like this, I think I've altered maybe nearly 200 cards now. I think I'd have to look. Maybe 150, 160. But it is tricky. I don't really have any other words to describe it, but yeah, going through, and especially where like these backgrounds or like adding in details, like you have to you have to be so careful to make it look okay. Like here, I'm just adding in a little bit of fluff because this is a cloud, so it needs to separate out or like splash the color in a little bit so you can see some darker patches mixed in with the light. Then I need to add a little bit of brown. But yeah, next week I'm going to do a blue card. I already have an idea for this. I think I own one. The Magic Mirror from Eldraine. Because I think it's a really cool card. I think I got one at the pre-release. Hopefully it's not in foil. Doing foils is even harder than non-foils, because the inking is slightly different, and trying to match a foil color with a normal paint is tricky at best. There we go, look. Yep, and then I need a little splash of yellow to make up the middle of this cloud. So, can I... Oh, and see, that's too yellow. You'll find, like, at least when I do it, I don't know about other artists, but at least when I do it, there's a lot of going back over things and changing it, because as I did there, it's just like, nope, that's the wrong colour. So I got the edge of the cloud going into the yellow, and then I need a lighter colour that mixes into the middle. And then, oh, see, that's gone too yellow. Look at that. Adding the white. Maybe I need some bone. There we go. Oh, that hasn't changed at all. I'm just gonna take that off. So a few of my friends did ask me about if I would alter the actual artwork, so the picture, and I personally don't like doing it because that's covering up the artist's work. And what I'm trying to do is highlight their skills by extending the art all the way to the edge, so you see it and it drags you in. Whereas if I cover up this, like I did some Fibblethip lands with him like in different places, but they're covering up the entire artwork, so you see none of the original piece. And for me, it goes against what I was actually trying to do. So like I will do it on occasion, like if I've got a really fun idea. But in general, most of my art is going to be an extension of the border, like this. It doesn't take as long as well, so when I have a busy week, I should be able to just pop in, do a quick little video like this, and whereas if I was changing the entire art, it might take considerably longer. Oh, that's the wrong colour. So there we go. Yeah, it does come in a bit dark. So I'm just trying to figure out now what to do this patch here, because I need to match in between the darker yellow and the lighter almost cream, but without it going pink. I need there we go. So now you should see a slight transition coming across from right to left. So when I finished doing this, I might add in some details like some of these ribbons up here coming around the top, maybe extend some of the ones on the side, but it's definitely a hell of a lot easier to complete if you've got the entire background done first, because then you don't have to worry about matching colors. You can just put this over the top. So like here, I think I might just cover all this up, start again with this bit of cloud. Which is the great thing about paints. If you make a mistake, you just go over it and start again. Yeah, so if I bring it up close, you can see at the borders, obviously, the shininess of the ink, and then we've got light to dark coming across here. We've got the light patch on the top, dark patch and the bluey bit around the side, which I do need to go over because it's a little patchy. And then where I've just gone over here, it's coming along. It's not too bad. Right, so I need a tiny little bit of blue to add into this colour. And that's hopefully enough. Not quite. Oh, it's enough for this side. Is it enough for the middle here? No, it needs to go a little bit darker, a little bit grayer. So, what was I going to say? Yeah, like I think I am going to try and record at least one a week. Obviously, if people like it a lot, I might start doing more. Or if you guys want me to do more, because at the end of the day, I have a lot of free time at the moment. So if you wanted to watch or see or like have an impact on what I'm doing, that would be fantastic. I'd like to hear some feedback. If you're missing out on your magic fixes as well, on this channel, me and some friends have started a series called EDH for Fun, where we are playing with more themed decks, as opposed to like our own personal like really powerful decks. As it gives us a little challenge and something to do, like change it up for our play. And we're playing on Tabletop Simulator, as we can't actually meet, obviously. It's really fun. We had our first one, well, depending when you're watching this, I suppose, last week, where we did a Ravnica only. So all of our cards were from Ravnica, which was fun. We ended up getting beat down by Niv Mizzet. Spoilers. But it was a really good game, and it was really interesting to see some of the different options that we went through. I'm excited for this week's as well. I'm looking forward to it. Okay, so here I'm like putting down the paint. Obviously you can see it's not quite the right colour, so I'm just helping blend it in. So it's a good tip I found for doing clouds, just using the tip of my finger to smudge it. Why is that there? Just to smudge it slightly, because then it gives that it's almost like the effect of a cloud, because it's got that puffiness coming from where you've smudged it. Right. I actually need to put some lighter colour over here. There we go. Because then this blends real nice into this bit. As you can see there, I've also now smudged it over here, so it covers the line, which is one of the trickier parts because it's quite bold, and it smudges, or it's smudged quite nicely to blend. I need a little bit of blue there. Tiny weeniest bit of blue in here, just to smudge it in. There we go. That's done this side. Okay, so we've now got clouds. I need to go up a bit up here. Fill in this with like a bluey greyish. I think I need to go over this bit here. I need it to be a bit. I need it to be a tiny bit lighter. Because at the moment it's looking a bit dark up in this corner here. But while maintaining the I need the same shade. No, same shade. Same shade, different brightness, I think is the correct term. Which is tricky. I find doing like this sort of colours the trickiest, which is one of the reasons why I picked the card. It's a lot easier doing the like blues into greens. There we go. That is a much better colour. And then I need a little bit of brown to blur the edge of the cloud. And I think I'm just going to blur this side as well. Okay. Right, is that the colour I wanted? So I'm not entirely sure how I'm doing the base of this card yet, like around the bottom. I don't particularly want to leave it just brown. I might have going down to about here as this colour, and then fade it into a darker colour for the base. Haven't quite decided yet, but that is probably what I'm going to do. Because this isn't a card that looks like the artwork will continue down. It's a flying monk man, and obviously that's the ground that he's on there. So, and then obviously down here, I'm gonna need some greys, and then I'm gonna need some black. So down, like from this line here, it's going to be a lot darker, which I will start on. This is annoying me. There's just this random black speck here. I mean, you probably can't see it on the camera because it's a little zoomed out. Let's see if I can show you. And yeah, like right here. There we go. That's fixed that problem. There we go. Yeah, that's good. That's what I wanted. And then over this side, there we go, link it in there. I need a tiny bit of brown colour. Oh, that's way too much. Oh, I need grey. brown and grey maybe? Because yeah, this is the problem with all these really light browns. I don't really have the colours to mix them. So it's a lot of trial and error of trying to figure out exactly how to make this colour. Because that's a little dark. See, it's a little dark. But if I add white, it's gonna go really pinky. I don't want it really pinky. I want it this color, just lighter. So let's see if this works. Oh, there we go. May have done it. And then at the bottom, I'll smudge it so I don't go over that too much. That looks good. That does look good. I think I need some blue, a bluey colour just to mix around the edges though. And so just to mix in here, because it's obviously got this, it's where it starts fading into like the grey bit up here. And this bit definitely needs some white to go below. Here, like, I actually think it might even need a little bit more. That's nuts. Yeah. Because then the entire top is looking like it's ready to go. Ready to complete. So if I just tap in some here. Like that blends that quite nicely. So now we've got the entire cloud area. I might just put in some little white specks here, just to mix it up from being a big block color. This bit over here is fine. This bit here probably needs some work actually. Alright. But then I think that's looking okay though. Now I need to figure out this bit where the sky transitions into the ground. Oh, that is way too dark. So that'll be mixing all the blues, greens and yellows before I get back into the browns of the base of the card. That is definitely too bright. I'm just going to ignore that. Sorry. So, how am I doing this? Oh. Okay. You can see that good. Then alright, there we go. So that's over on the top. So that's all the clouds done. I think this top left one might be a bit dark. Although it does match quite nicely. And no, I think what I need to do is change the shape. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this one here, just to push it into this way, and then this bluey bit is gonna come across a bit more. I think that was what was bothering me. Just a little shape change, and then maybe it'll look a bit more. Oh, that needs to go light. Because then it looks a bit more like the cloud hasn't just been poked in the face and had a little dent put in it. So here we go. So we'll do this. There we go. And then, actually, I think that looks okay now. And then it blends nicely all the way across around the top, down to where this big blue splotch is. So I guess this big blue splotch is our next target. Actually, I'll just do the blue both sides and then work my way down, because the blue looks fairly similar across both. So hopefully the audio for this video comes out okay. I have had some issues with like mic cracklings and stuff. I think I fixed it, maybe? I don't know. I'm bad at computers. Maybe I'll see if I can get one of my friends to help me out. Although chances are they won't be able to come see what I'm doing wrong until lockdown ends. That's unfortunate. But we'll get there. The more practice I have, the better I'll get at doing this stuff anyway. So if today's not perfect, maybe next week will be. Okay, so I've just mixed up some colour. How does this look? The blue hasn't come through very well on that. I do have a list of some new paints that I need to get when the lockdown ends, because some of them are running a little dry. Like here, this blue's not covering up over the lines or anything very well. It's not covering over anything very well, to be honest. There's not much I can do about that without mixing in a different blue that may not look quite right. Because I'm gonna have to do a lot of color changing to it to make it from like a dark, it's almost like a navy blue, up to the correct skyish light grey color. Let's give that a go though. And then the grey. Alright, let's see how this has turned out. Oh, actually, that hasn't turned out that bad. Right. So I need it a little lighter. And now I think that may be too light. You see that? Does that look about right? Who knows? Who knows? So if I was to go about live streaming some of these, would you want me to do just one card or more than one card? Oh, see, that's way too dark. 'Cause I think this one's going to take. It's probably going to end up being about 2 hours. This video, maybe a little less because I have done a lot of the hard part already. But I don't know how long like general live streams are. I guess they're between 1 and 2 hours normally. And I could definitely do that. I might be able to do longer if people want me to go longer. Right, so there I'm definitely gonna need some ribbon because I've slightly gone over that one. Right, let's smudge that in. There, perfect. Now I need some green. Is it the sun setting? I think that is. Just here, the sun's setting. And it's causing the distortion of the colours to go, which is really, really nice. I am not talented enough to actually make anything like this. I can copy quite well, but just being like, right, I'm gonna make this sunset, and I was like, I wouldn't have a chance. Not a chance. Yeah. Like, the actual colours mat's really nice. I guess the one advantage of doing it yourself is no one can tell you that the colours are wrong. Like, you don't have to match as well, because you could just put in a cloud like this and then put in a completely different colour next to it. You're like, no, that's how I've designed it. That's what it's meant to look like. But I think I would actually just struggle with the concept, doing features. Yeah, I need something to base my painting off, because I'm not that good. I try hard, but I'm not that good. So like here, because you can see it's a bit grayer. Then I need a bit of yellow. Oh. Oh, I forgot to do the other side as well. Oh, it was a mistake. That's going to be real hard to match again. Alright, what colours did I use? But we're getting there, as you can see. Like, from a distance, the colour is matching quite nicely. Alright, so that needs to get lighter. I actually really like this rainbow effect. It's cool. If I could do rainbows in every card, I would. let's see what this colour. There we go, that's that colour done. Now I need to put in a tiny little blue up here. And then I'm going to split it back to the yellow on this side. Oh, that needs to go lighter. So a lot of the painting is just try a little bit, not quite right, try a little bit, not quite right, until you get the right colour. It takes time, so you might not see it in the sped up video, because it might just be me paint, 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 which will be quite nice. But then you don't get my beautiful voice giving you this amazing commentary. I'm just going around the edge here, because even though I'm going to go over it, I just want it to look a bit neater when the background's done. So yellow, and then this bit. Alright. Alright, that's that side. Did I forget to do this side now? Right, there's the green. And sorry if I forget to talk. I don't want it just to be a real quiet video. But the concentration on my face right now is incredible. There we go. I think this might be just about the last bit up here. I think I'm going to need a little blending line here. Got that one. Where's my other yellow? Yeah, and this is the thing other people don't realize when they've seen my alters. It's like the amount of different colors that goes into it. Because you're like, oh, this is just yellow and blue and whatever. But like this, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This has got 11 different colors in at the moment that I've been using to mix up and make my paints the right ones. 11. And I'm about to add in the 12th, which is black, because I'm going to start needing some of these black lines. And then the darker colours mixing into the floor, which brown just won't do, unfortunately. It needs to be the black to actually blacken it out. Which I'm almost there. Right, so probably should have put a black background there, to be honest. Right. Yeah, I probably should go over this with brown first to just mix the right colour in to start with, And then same over this side, because then it's already got that darker base that I can go over. When I first did the outline, I just didn't know how far I wanted to go with it. Yeah, I'm just gonna have a quick go around the outside just to make sure that colour's consistent as well. There we go. Right. Right, let's make this a bit more solid, shall we? Alright. There we are. Okay. So we've got the entire skies done. I'm now going to start working on this bit, which is going to be roughly the same as this, down to about here, I think. And then it's going to go progressively darker. And I'm probably just going to keep this dark brown here. I don't think there's the need of going over it with black or anything. I might add some little details in, but I'm not entirely sure just yet. I don't think I will. I don't think there's the need for it, because the bottom of the card isn't the important bit. You see, you really want to highlight the top. So if that's got the nice vibrant colours, people will look at it and then they'll be like, "Oh, it's on land. That makes sense." Hopefully. So, right, I'm gonna get some browns and yellows, and I'm gonna mix them up and see roughly what sort of colours I'm after. This one looks a bit light, but we'll see. Yeah, that's clearly the wrong colour. Clearly. Alright, let's try. What about this one? See, that's too dark, but this colour we could start down here and just colour up, because it is a different colour, and it means the gradient down the sides is gonna start forming. Every time I do a slightly lighter shade, I can just increase that up here, and while it may not look like it's doing anything at the moment, when the physical card is finished, it will look much different. Right, so right, just adding in some of these like whispered clouds along the bottom. Then like here, not quite. Where's that black? Because like if this is the right color, like here as well, and then like in between it's a slightly lighter brown, like there, that matches really well. So I can add in a bit more, and I'm gonna have to find this brown like here, that you can see it's a slightly lighter. I mean, it's not yellow, it is brown. which is just really awkward. Because normally it's like, I'll add some white, but I can't just make it lighter with white. I actually have to mix in some browns. Like, there we go, see? And I'm just going to colour the entire thing in, because then I can get the darker colour and just go over the top. So if I bring this up real close, there we are. If that's not too blurry, you can see here there are two different browns that come through real nicely. And when I speckle the blacks, the darker lines, the contours, that should become a bit more apparent, hopefully. Alright, I'm just gonna go down a bit to make some of this gradient, because I think that's roughly, I think this is roughly how far down I want the land to go. So and if I keep adding like small adjustments to the shade, then we can go down to the black right at the bottom. And it might not be as obvious on camera, but when you have the physical card in your hand, you'll be able to see it subtly change all the way down, which will give it a really nice blending to the bottom, and it'll just make the card look that little bit better, in my opinion. So there we go. So let's see if I can show you that again. Look, there we go. That's a nice example for it. So we start light and we're going down darker and darker and darker till we hit the bottom, which is then that darkest brown colour. Right, I'm gonna move over to my smaller brush in a moment, because I'm gonna need to add in some of these lines, which is gonna be hard, or harder. It's gonna be a lot more fine detail. So far I've only really done the outlines, or big shady parts, like background. But now, obviously, moved on to a smaller brush, so I can start adding in little rocky lines, like there. Oh, you can't really see that very well on camera, unfortunately. There we go. So you can see there's got the light colour popping through, but we've got the black lines that are just forming the edges of the rocky outline, or the shades where there is a darker patch that's been obviously got some sort of shadow that is covering, or stopping the light reach it on the background. So this is what we're doing now. This bit's actually quite easy, because you don't have to be specific about it. You can just sort of just make some lines, and you can't really go wrong, because either way it's going to look like it's stretching out the background. And then I'm just going to get a slightly lighter colour just by mixing in a little bit of light brown with it, and then going over some of the bits again to give it that third colour, the third texture of the what I was saying, background. Because then it just makes it look that little bit more 3D. It looks like it's stretching out, and then where it starts going darker, you start losing the definition because you can't see it as well, and that is exactly what happens in real life as well. So that is perfect. That's actually looking really nice. Alright, so here we go. I'm going to start just doing that. Alright, before I move on, I'm going to make sure all my edges are fine around the entire thing. So I've got my trusty toothpick, and I'm just going to scratch out where I've gone over the frames, because then it just looks a little bit neater. And when it comes to scanning it in and editing the card there for the Alter Sleeves website, I have these clear frames, these clear defining parts where I haven't made the mistake. So this is one of the most important parts, I think, of doing an altar, because it can turn it from a messy, like here, like you can see all the way around the bottom, I've gone over some of the lines. And it changes it from a messy painting into something that's got clear lines and is well defined, like that. So I think all I need to do is one ribbon up here. The rest are all fairly self-contained. I've just done this little outline here just to make sure it's not cut off by the blue. And then we're going to be done. So what was that? That'll be about an hour and a half of final when it's finally done, probably. So this is one of the shorter altars I've done, but I have sped up a lot recently because I've been doing a lot of painting in my free time. So how about if I do this here, and then I'll add in a little bit of brown. What kind of brown? It's like a yellowy brown. Is that the right colour? I have no idea. Let's see. Oh, that has definitely come through a bit thick. It might be the right colour though. Possibly. Alright, and then I when I do this bit, I obviously can't scratch it out because this bit here has the original painting underneath. Oh, that's a big splodge of water. But what I can do is just go over it with the white again. And then I can use the toothpick to clear up the last little bits of edges. So I'm going to just wrap up this bit of ribbon, make that line a bit smaller. Which is done like that. I'm going to scratch out where I've gone over the line. That. There we go. So we've gone roof, we've got the little ribbon continuing up at the top here. We've got the sky going round, shading all the way done. That is my Serra Ascendant complete. Thank you for watching, everyone. Again, at some point over the next week, I will probably be uploading my next one, which will be blue, going around the colour pie. As I said, hopefully it'll be Magic Mirror, but I don't actually know if I've got one or not. So we'll see about that. But for this week, this is Higgy signing off.